Hey guys, Jessapot coming from Mayhem Attack Squad. Today I just kind of wanted to talk about, as I'm starting these videos, is the current state of the game, HQ15, and some of the improvements I'd like to see, because hopefully someone at SA gets to watch one of these and they can hear it. I've written them a few times, and I'm just trying to really kind of get it across. There's one major thing I think they could do. Um, as I've gone through all the levels and gone through all the frustrations that the rest of you have, dupes and whatnot. I'm kind of like how Oasis used to be. Dupes, I don't mind. One, it becomes relative. Everyone else has got some of this, has got the same problems too. So we don't like them, but if everyone got 4 stars all the time and it was easy, they wouldn't be rare. And I've had a string of probably a good 16 in a row kind of thing where I just got straight dupes on 4-star shards and whatnot. And but that's the game. It's just my opinion. It doesn't mean anyone's not entitled to how they feel, and it's obviously frustrating. No one likes it. But some of the things about the game. I've known a lot of free to play players, and I've known a lot of players who put down a good amount of money to play this game. And some of the same frustrations people are, especially from the top, seeing things where things are going. One thing that I think would unite everything and really solve some of SA's big problems is to make wars competitive, and even maybe come up with a new how bases are attacked, maybe a new scoring system. I think that's kind of the general consensus of people who I've talked to or have discussed the topic. Something needs to change, because if not, this game is just a money drain, time drain, either or both, to essentially get nowhere. The hope that you match up eventually with someone competitive, and depending on your rank, that might never happen, or rarely. When I was in MobX Carnage, it rarely happened, and so far at Mayhem Attack Squad, it's happened only a couple of times. And they really need to fix that. They say they're working on it. I think that's priority number one. That to me, like this whole 5-star crystal thing, the whole 5-star thing, I think is overblown. I don't know. I understand people's initial reactions. It's like it's all of a sudden just going to start raining 5 stars. I think that concern is moot. I don't think that 5 stars. I think it'll just kind of be a cool trophy for everyone to have, and I think it'll help more than it's going to hurt the game. All of a sudden, everyone's grinding just didn't go out the window and whatnot. Um, I think it's going to actually help, because at the higher levels, SA has a grinding and experience point problem. A lot of players aren't going to grind, the 10 million that they're kind of looking for. So they really got to do something to alleviate that and come up with some creative solutions. I think that's why we saw the triple XP, and I think that's why we're seeing 5-star bots. So I actually think 5 stars are probably good for the game, and I'm kind of looking forward. However, it's all meaningless if there's nothing to grind for. There's no point in playing, like if I was a basketball player for a long time. I'm not going to want to play against sixth grade. Get my group of guys together and go play against sixth graders, and I think sixth graders don't want to play against a bunch of really good teams that are much older than them. And same thing here. We don't want to have lopsided wars. We like competitive wars where we can go in and really feel like our points are matter, and really kind of get that adrenaline going. So if we can kind of fix that, that's kind of the main focus of what I'm looking for. It would be great if we could add some tournaments. Something that's different. This can't just be a grind and power up your bots. Your bot looks cool, and get some really nice looking bots, because if you're already smashing things if you've got a 4-star at level 52 and he's already solid, and that there's no point in going past that and being competitive, then what's the point? I think that the bots that you have, it's good to kind of focus on and kind of, you know, make sure that some of the ones that you're working on are of good value. Sometimes you get ones that are limited, but yeah, for now, I just think that if SA can make that change, then I think we'd be good. For a couple players, touch on medals. Medals, Pace probably wouldn't like this, and a lot of guys, but medals are good from an alliance standpoint. I personally feel from a individual standpoint, they're meaningless. I got to, I think, rank 42 is my highest, and all of a sudden it kind of was more important to me. I gave up those medals, and I think I'm, you know, what am I ranked now? Something extremely high, 516. It, to me, is absolutely a meaningless number. Because then you kind of get into the questions of what is the strongest account in the game? Who is the strongest? What makes a top player? My view would probably be different than a lot of people. I think if you actually have two squads that can be pretty much put together to beat HQ15, then you're kind of even with any other top player in the game. There's some that have, like Dreadstalker on Mayhem Attack Squad, absolutely just the beast of beasts. He's that guy is insane, and he has just a bot collection, you know, out of this world, and it's just so impressive. And you know, he's put a ton of time. That I could actually look at and say, yeah, that's pretty much, you know, I think anyone would take that account, or you know, maybe he's the top player. But there's other factors, you know, and some ways of looking at it. You could look at Dreadstalkers having the top account, being the top player, and I can look at someone like Iron Man on Mass, who's just a phenomenal strategist and can see angles that are just, he's just so good, and he can see counts points, look at things. What I understand, he's the guy who invented time traps, and so when I look at it from my point of view, to me, he could be considered the top player because he's very good. He's not going to have the bot collection that Dreadstalker has, but you know, it could be. Other people could say IU or UI or whatever his name is, who recently quit or seems inactive because you know he grinded so much and has the most medals. Well, I'm sure his bots are extremely impressive, and he's extremely strong and can take down top bases, but I don't know if that makes him better than someone else who can take down top bases and be equal, like, you know, an S7 on Mayhem Attack Squad, and S7's also on Primus, Commander of Primus. Extremely, you know, top player in the game, question mark, you know. There's so many kind of variances as to what makes a top account. So these are some of the things that people have been discussing, and a couple of people asked me to talk on it, and so I kind of thought I'd throw this out there. Anyway, shout out to Mel. I appreciate Mel for getting the word out there and kind of getting the word of the channel out and the videos going. Feral, awesome job against QS Primal Knights. I saw that top score, so that was very impressive, and I look forward to seeing you repeat that. All right, guys.